Hello everyone. Sorry for being a little late. We'll start the live stream now. Don't worry. Yes. Hello everyone. Yep, good to see all of you back here. From B12. Hello everyone. Chalo, let's get started. We'll start with the discussion today. म्यूजिक बंद करो. म्यूजिक तो सही है यार. बंद करेंगे ऑब्वियसली. Okay, we'll get started, folks. So this week we are discussing the LeetCode weekly 471 and bi-weekly 167. I think I just had a look at both the contest last question. They are 6 pointers, but then again I think there are some good techniques to learn in them, and probably if you know those topics, then I think we will be able to get to learn a lot of things. Echo aa raha hai. Is my voice clearly audible to all? I feel it should be. I haven't really played anything on my side, so there should not be echo. Bi-weekly में cheating बहुत हुए है. Okay है. Okay, so it's okay, right? Great. Shall move it to another window. Okay. Great. Okay. So bi-weekly contest 167 and weekly contest 471. These are two contests that we are discussing today. Voice galat. If you're saying that it's wrong, then maybe I should be fine. Okay. Any background noise I think should be cancelled now as well. अगर आप मेरा मैसेज देखे तो हंसे क्यों? अरे हंसा ऐसा कुछ नहीं है यार. विल कितने कॉन्टेस्ट, कितने क्वेश्चंस, कितने डिस्कशन करे. ऑलरेडी एजेड प्रीमियम में बहुत क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करते हैं. वॉइस गलत भाई. I don't think so. Okay, let's get started, folks. Let's get started. So as usual, in my streams, in the interest of time, we'll probably look at the last two problems and we'll try to discuss these things. And like for like because bi-weekly happened first, we'll look at bi-weekly and we'll look at the last two problems of both the contest. I feel in my streams, I explicitly not discuss the first two problems because of the audience that I want to cater to. I understand that some of you might be stuck on the first two problems, but I generally look at this. Now, before we start, how many problems were you able to solve in the two contests? Give me the number in bi-weekly, comma weekly. कितने problems solve हुए in bi-weekly, comma weekly? Give me the number in the chat. Like 2, 3, 3, 3. How many were able to give? 3, 2, 3, 2 didn't give. Okay. 2, 2. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Okay. So I think we can start from third of both the contests because that would be where we can start learning, right? So we'll start with third problem of this. This seems to be like a standard like structure creation problem that you have to create a class that can support something. And this is some partition factor. Okay, we'll look at it. Okay. So let's start. So first problem that we'll look at is this problem over here, which is design exam score tracker, right? So it basically asks us to, at this time, there is a score. At this time, this score has been achieved. Return the integer that represent total score of all exams Alice have taken between start time and end time. Okay. So is it directly range sum? Like if I have to update this score at this time and from start to end, I have to get the sum. Is that what the question is asking for? Okay. Now just keep track using prefix sums. Prefix sums, but you have to update also, right? At a particular time. This is basically point update. At this time, you insert a score. You like at this time you are doing like plus equals to score, and at start time and end time you are doing like you have to get the range sum. Okay. Oh, it is it is guaranteed that the function call made are in chronological order. That means record will be made in strictly increased time. So they just made a hard problem super easy. Okay. Yeah. I was just about to solve a harder version of this problem. Maybe we can discuss that as well, right? Maybe we'll discuss that as well. So the question says that we have to at this time add a score. So basically, it might be like at 3. Just let me set this up. So it just made the life easier all the way to just managing a normal array. So basically, you think about the records that are being made. So at 3, some score 5 is coming. Then the next will be 5. There is some score 10. Then at 10, then at 7, let's say the score is 2. And so on. The new scores can get appended at the end. So there is a score vector which is sorted by time, and new elements will be added at the end, right? And then there are some query which says, hey, between time 4 and time 8, what is the sum of the score values? So essentially, if you have this record vector made on time, right? Made on time, when you are going for query 4 to 8, you have to understand that you are looking like anyways, if there is no score at 4, it doesn't matter, right? So for 4, you basically search for like you want to find the element greater than equal to 4. So what do you use for finding element greater than equal to x? In a sorted array, if you want to find the first element greater than or equal to x, what do you use? Lower bound, right? Then if you have 8, I want to find the element just before 8. I want to find last element less than equal to x. How do you do this? How do you find the last element greater than equal to x? So basically what you can do is you can use upper bound and do a -1. So upper bound gives you the first element strictly bigger than x. And if you go back one step, then you will get the last element less than equal to x. So if I do lower bound on 4, I will get this element's pointer, and I can get the index also if I want. And if I do upper bound, then I will get this element's, assuming this, let's say this is 9. I'll get this element's pointer, and if I go back one step, I'll get the element which is over here. Okay. Clear, everyone? This is upper bound, lower bound, which you use. Now, if I have these two positions, I basically need to find the sum of elements that are there in the range in between. Suppose at 6, assuming that there was at 6, there was another value 1, let's say, right? So you are basically asked to find the sum of a range. Okay. Find the sum of a range. Now, finding this point and this point is easy, but finding this sum of range is hard, because if you don't have something pre-computed, then you have to iterate on it, right? Which can, on the worst case, be order n, because the query might be from first element to last element, right? So in this case, we have to process something that can give us range sum. As soon as you think about getting a range sum, there are only certain data structures. There are only certain data structures. What are the data structures that allow us to get range sum? Give me some names. Give me some names that allow us to get range sums. Okay. If it is static array, like if the array is not changing, then we can use prefix sums. And if it is dynamic, then you can use segment tree. And one more structure that can also do this is called Fenwick tree, which is also for dynamic version. Okay. If it's static, like it's of equivalent power, so you don't need to learn both. Even if you know segment tree, it's fine. If it's a static version, you can use prefix sums. If it's dynamic, it's segment tree. Now here what is given is the time that is coming is strictly in increasing order. So the question was made surprisingly easy. Like it is strictly increasing in time. So next time there will be only like new things added at the end, right? So you don't really need to change anything of the elements that has been added before. So it's a static array with append. Okay. So now if you think about it, instead of keeping this array, you can actually build the prefix sum like 15, 16, 18. Let's say here there is 3. So it's 21. When you append a new thing, suppose you get 4 here, you can also build the prefix sum array of 25, right? So prefix sum array can be extended easily when a new element is added, and you can always find something of the sum in range, right? Yeah, somebody mentioned square root. I think for the completeness, we could also add square root decomposition. It might be helpful in some problem. Okay. So this is the idea, that you build the prefix sum to get the range sum of the fight, and which range to find is what you use using lower bound and upper bound. Using lower bound, you find the lower side, lower bound, and with the upper bound, going back one step, you will find the upper side. And in that, between those two index, between this L and R, if you want to find the range sum, you can simply find prefix of R, which is 18, minus prefix of L minus 1, which is 5. So 18 minus 5 will be equal to 13. If you see 10 plus 1 plus 2 will be equal to 13. Correct. So we will build the prefix sum on the values. The value is there. We will keep building the prefix sum as the append happens at the back. And whenever a range query happens, we will do the lower bound and upper bound. Okay. Clear, everyone? Is the idea clear to all? How are we using? So there were two aspects in this problem. Two things was merged. One is you need to know prefix sums, right? I think I have mentioned it n number of times. On mang.in, there is a very good course that I've created on prefix sum that is freely available. You can watch all the lectures. Second thing is you need to know lower bound, upper bound, which means STL command you should have in your practice. Like if unless you know STL, I don't think you can quickly do these problems. And the third thing that you need to know is you should be able to draw this diagram and see from the constraint that prefix sums can be extended easily, so you don't need to update. So we can use prefix sum in this case, right? These are three things that the question like setter wanted you to think about. Clear, everyone? Is this part clear to all? Vivek Bhaiya, it will be helpful if you make a free sheet of important interview questions. Just cover more in less time. मत करो भाई, मत करो, मत. Don't try to cover more in less time. Give more time, please. You will be more happy in life. I have never seen somebody who thinks that if I cover more in less time, I'll be more successful. I mean, you should plan, but I don't think there is any point in doing this. Okay. इतने sheets पड़े, me adding another sheet will not help anybody in this world, I'll tell you. Okay, now let's solve the harder version. Like, I think since this is LeetCode and I expect them to do this someday, that this is design exam scorer tracker 1 and then they will create design scorer 2. So if you supposedly have the second version of this problem, right? If you have supposedly second version of this problem, how do you solve that? Can somebody tell me? So now the question is that you will get record time comma score. What you're saying is that at array of time plus equals to score and get sum of L to R, like from L time to R time, get the sum. How will you solve this? And it can happen anywhere, like the time did not increase, because if I suddenly go and change this one from 1 to say 2, if I go and change this 1 to 2, suddenly this 16 becomes 17, 18 becomes 19. So whole prefix sum needs to update, which is not very easy to do, right? And since these are like, there are n points, but the time can be up to 10 to the power 9, directly using segment tree might not be helpful here. Because segment tree, you can, like, the time value where you have to add is up to 10 to the power 9. But segment tree, you can build only 10 to the power 5 or 10 to the power 6 max to max. Then how do you do it? Sweep. Sweep कैसे होगा? No, sweep is different. Don't throw names if you don't know them. Okay, sweep is a very different thing. Okay, one idea somebody is mentioning is called coordinate compression. That is the correct term, coordinate compression. Okay, this is only possible when you have offline queries. Okay, if you don't know segment tree, there are certain videos on my YouTube channel which you can learn, or you can just listen to sometime and then we'll move to the next problem. Okay, but usually when you go to higher side, these are things. Okay, yeah, somebody mentioned dynamic segment. I'll come to that. The second thing that you can use is something called as implicit segment tree, which doesn't need you to know all the times and all. This is online option thing. Okay, they're also called dynamic segment tree. Okay, there are two approaches. One is, if you have all the record queries available, then even if the time can be up to 10 to the power 9, we know that we will like only get 10 to the power 5 queries. So in 20 to the power 5 queries, we will only get 10 to the power 5 different times, isn't it? I mean, even if there are like 3, 5, 7, 6, this values, there will be only 10 to the power 5 values, right? So we can renumber them. We can say this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5, and so on. We can renumber them, and then we can build the segment tree on top of this. Okay. What we do is, instead of like having a big array where there are sparsely you are using the things 3, 2, 4, what we will do is, since we know, if you know all the queries beforehand, if you have the vector, then you know all the times that will be accessed, like say 3, 7, 10 is being used. So I'll create another array 3, 7, 10, 0, 1, 2, and I'll create an array. This means 0, 1, 2. I will put the value that is there at 3, 2, 4. Okay. Now, so all the values of time, this will be a map. All the values of time that might be used will be created in this map and will have a unique ordering. Now, suppose at 7 you want to change something here, like say at 7 from 2 you want to increase it with by 3, so this will become 5. So in this, from this 7 I will find 1, and at 1 I will change this to 5, and I will build segment tree on top of it. Suppose somebody asks me, give me the sum of score in the time 4 to 11. So I'll search the lower bound, I will search the upper bound -1 and find their corresponding coordinates, and in between that I will do the range sum. This is called coordinate compression. This technique is called coordinate compression. This again uses that same lower bound upper bound technique, but it maps the values to smaller values so that we can build an array on it. And this array will be maintained by a segment tree to get range sum. If you haven't learned segment tree, then understand it is a data structure that can give you range sum in an array in log n. That's it. Clear everyone up till this point? 50% clear to all that there is some data structure that can give us range sum, but this is how we can create this mapping, which will help us. Instead of having big values of time here, we will have index being used. Okay, this is called coordinate compression in segment tree. Just Google it up, you will learn something new. Okay. Yeah, my sessions are for that. My sessions are for you to give you the glimpse of what more things are there to learn in some degree. Because if I see, I can come on this stream and I can be like, oh chalo iska solution ye hai. वो तो भाई तुम LeetCode पे जाके you can go and watch, you can read editorial blog, solution blog. Okay, you can do a editorial blog also, no? वो तो उसमें बता ही देगा solution क्या है. There is no point in me teaching you the solution. My job is to teach you how to think. That's what I do the best, and that's what we'll do in this channel. Okay. So somebody saying wouldn't cost time limit? No, segment tree can get you the range sum in O of log n. So there will be one binary search log n plus log n. For these 2 points, you will find their corresponding coordinates, and between those coordinates in the compressed array, you will do the O of log n. So 3 log n. It is order 3 log n, which is order log n only. So it will not TLE. Okay. And you need to know all the times. It cannot be like suddenly a time 8 came between. You cannot give it some new number in between, right? You need to know all the times that will be used beforehand only to create this mapping. That is why I told this is an offline process. Means you need to know all the record queries that are going to come, which was true in this problem because you have this vector, right? I mean, in most questions on code forces on in this, you have the input. So you can take all the input and you can go through the input and save it. Plus you can build these 98, 99, all the, like, so whatever is the first type of query, right? This, so on. Practice round is open and questions are tough. Okay, we'll look at it. We'll look at the practice round. Okay, we'll look at it at the end if you guys are interested in that. Okay, let's complete what we are discussing today. See, so this is called coordinate compression technique, which is a very important technique which you usually learn in segment tree. If you haven't learned this, then you have learned it from the wrong place, right? On my YouTube, if you see there is videos on segment tree, you can watch them. You'll learn a lot of things. Okay. Then there is something called as implicit segment tree, which is more like a dynamic segment tree, right? Like, so suppose you have a node which has for the range 1 into 10 to the power 9. Okay. Offline and online means you have all the queries available. Like, when it's not like you don't know the next record query, what is going to be there. When you are given the input, you have all the record queries available. So I can take it and process it together. I have all the times that will come in my all possibilities. Okay. उठा लिया? किस चीज के लिए उठा लिया? Okay. Next is, this is if you don't know what times are going to be used, there is something called as dynamic segment tree. I'll give you an intuition. Okay. So 1 to 10 to the power 9. Okay. This is the like range. Okay. And suppose you get at 3, you get a score of 5. So what I will do is I'll break it into two parts. Like some middle to this and one to middle of this. I'll actually build it only for a small value, but you can do it for like bigger 10 to the power 9 also. Okay. Okay. But since I need to update 3, this side I will keep that, hey, the whole sum is 0. There is nothing here. Only when you put something at a particular point is when its sum can make sense, right? Then here I will break it into two parts, 1 to 2, whose I know the sum will be 0, and I'll make this node. So these will be pointers. I will not create the segment tree array like I do. These will be pointers, and it will be created on demand. Okay. And then it will have 3 nodes, 3 to 3 and 4 to 4. These will be by 0 by default, but since at 3 I will put 5, these will become 5. Okay. Then suppose a update comes that at 6 put 2. Then I will go only on this side. I will see that, hey, this is 0 and it's not created on the lower side. So I'll create it. Can't we apply binary search on some? That is for the first version, where don't come late and say, can't we do this? वो तो basic version के लिए था. We are solving the version where the time is not increasing. Okay. We are solving for that version. Don't come to my class and say, विवेक ये तो बहुत obvious है. Okay. अरे हम obvious के ऊपर जाके पढ़ाई करते हैं. So it will split like this, and then it will then split like this only when demand, because 6 aaya, that's why we are splitting like this. This is 0, this is 5 to 5, this will be 0. This is, then we will put, hey, for 6 you need 2, then we will put 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and then 7 here. Okay. This kind of segment tree will get created. And the logic is, whenever you hit a time, you will only create the path that goes from root to the leaf. And there are only log of 10 to the power 9 nodes, because you will build from 1 to 10 to the power 9. It will split, and so on. Okay. So there will be this many number of nodes created. Okay. This is called implicit segment tree. You can search about it and read about it more if you want to learn this online process. This is fairly interesting. Do you want to learn a very dangerous technique? If you guys want, I'll teach you. Max 32 nodes. Yeah, max 32 nodes it will create. Like 32 into 2. Like every time you are splitting, you are creating 2 nodes. And you will split only on the path till the node you are updating. Do you want to learn a very dangerous technique? If you say yes, I'll teach you. Okay. This is one of the things that I sometimes feel like is like a superpower, right? If you know this. Okay. And this utilizes something called as Fenwick tree. Okay. So I'll show you a algorithm. Like, this is something that we will look at. Where's the code? Okay, this is the Fenwick Tree, one based index, whatever it is, I don't care, right? Okay. I'll do one thing and it'll blow your mind. Okay. Oops. Okay. How many of you knows Fenwick Tree? Okay. So basically it's nothing but like a data structure, which basically given, like I'll delete this. Okay. It basically creates an array and you can get the sum of the range L to R and you can add at this index this delta. Is this what was the question asking you? Ki at this time add this value and add this from this L to R get the sum. Okay. This is a data structure that does that. You can at a particular point update range sum. Okay. This is something that Fenwick Tree can do. Okay. And there is a magic that you can do with Fenwick Tree. Okay. You can just do this and convert this to unordered map. Okay. There's no point in like, oh, I have to keep the n like in the constructor. Instead of vector, just use a unordered map. That's it. That's the whole change in the code. Okay. That's the whole change in the code that you need to do. And it will start working for 10 to the power 9. If you just make this vector to a map, this will start working for 10 to the power 9 because Fenwick Tree never said that this n, like it's a login process, right? It's a very login process. This is a login code. This is a login code. Okay. So this will still work. Every function will work with login. And now you have an infinite sized array, which is up to 10 to the power 9 or even more. 10 to the power 9 because of int, right? Okay. Clear everyone. This is the trick. Basically in the vector of Fenwick Tree, just replace it with a map and unordered map and you have an infinite size array. Of course, it's not perfectly order 1, but on an average, it will be order 1 only. If you are not sure, just use an unordered map. It will give you an like ordered map and it will give you a login. But if you use just unordered map, I have never seen this failing. Never seen this failing. And I've used this in so many places because implicit segment tree is hard to code. Yeah, vector to map. And it's like, so what was this bit? It was like a vector of 10 to the power 5 size, array of 10 to the power 5 size. I just converted it to map. It's like an array of 10 to the power 9 size now with some extra complexity of accessing, but that's it. Difference between segment tree and Fenwick tree is less powerful because it can only do something that you can subtract like XOR or plus like range sum, range XOR and things like that. It cannot find range GCD. Okay, because you cannot subtract something to get the GCD or range minimum. So Fenwick tree is less powerful, but sometimes it has lesser code, so it's helpful. Yeah, if you're unsure that people will hack it, just use map, then it will not be hackable. And people can't hack unordered map that easily. Okay, it's not everybody's play. LeetCode can't hack unordered map. I can't believe that LeetCode will someday come and hack unordered map. Okay, and there are ways to protect from that also. Okay, if you're thinking of hacking of unordered map, there are ways to protect enough from that also. Okay, it's only possible on code forces where senior people come and look at your code and then hack your code. In LeetCode, they create test case previously, so they cannot come and hack your code. Okay, clear everyone? Hack is a code force system beyond the scope of today's stream. We'll discuss that someday else. We'll try to hack unordered map in some live stream fun stream. Okay, chill stream. You can use this. This is n logs. Like every function will be log square n in this case. But if you, I generally use this. Okay. Implicit segment tree is just segment tree with range 10 to the power 9. Yeah, hack means collision. Yes, to make the time constant. Okay, enough going beyond. We have gone too much beyond the question. भाई अमित तो कुछ अलग ही चीज ढूंढ रहा है. On keyboard CF is parallel to VG. Amit is desperate to make me start doing CF streams, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, you can keep watching more of my streams. Every stream, I ensure कि at least, I don't think there would be any stream where somebody would come and be like कि कुछ नहीं सीखा. ये तो हो नहीं सकता. No matter if they are 2100 also. No, I think some 2100 might know more than me. Not more than me, but at least equivalent to me. Okay, cool. This is the first problem. The third problem of this. Clear, everyone? Okay. स्पेशल क्वेश्चन यार यही करना था मेरे को एक्चुअली इम्प्लिसिट सेगमेंट ट्री डिस्कस करना था या फेनविक ट्री वाला ट्रिक बताना था. आई डोंट हैव अ स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन इमीडिएटली. आई थॉट आई विल टेक वन बट आई थिंक इट विल टेक लॉट मोर टाइम टू कवर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. Okay. So next question, this last problem of the biweekly, which is asking you to find. So if you read this statement correctly, just search. Why do you guys ask me resources? Implicit segment tree code forces. More. See. Okay, this, if you can read this block. Yeah, there is this question called horrible queries, which I also, I think, implemented with implicit segment tree. Did I use implicit segment tree? Yeah, I did. I think so. I don't know. Anyways, these are very old problems. I don't remember. You can solve this horrible queries, I think. I solved in 2018. It's like too old for me. Anyways, let's move forward. So, yeah. So there is this question saying that between 2 points, we have the Manhattan distance given and split n points into exactly 2 non-empty groups. The partition factor of a split is minimum Manhattan distance between all pairs. So we are being defined key in a group, if there are x points, the minimum distance between any two pairs is what you have to find. Okay. And from both the groups, okay, so for both the groups, we will find the Manhattan distance and then we will find the minimum, which we have to maximize. Okay. So as soon as you read the problem, the first thing that you should figure out is, first you should draw the diagram, of course. There is a set of points. And as soon as I read the problem, I feel that, we are only 500 points. So I can find out all pair distances. I can find all pair distances, right? So I have to divide into two groups such that इसका minimum distance, minimum का जो भी minimum है of these two values, A and B, I have to maximize this. Okay. So as soon as you hear the word maximize the minimum, I have already told this enough number of times. All the people who watch my YouTube streams and my videos know that this is a binary search on answer question, right? Immediately your brain should click, oh, can I binary search on the answer? Right? Can I binary search on the answer? Your brain should immediately say that. And then you explore in that direction. Hey, if I suppose say that my answer is X, okay, means the minimum should be greater than equal to X, and here also minimum should be greater than equal to X. Then only my answer will be greater than equal to X, right? So now when you have greater than equal to X and greater than equal to X on both the sides, I need to just check, can I split it into two parts such that both of them has distance greater than equal to X, right? So we need to design a check function which says, hey, given bunch of points, can I divide it into two parts, two set of points? Like, can I divide it into two sets of point such that like any two pair in that is greater than equal to X in each group, right? This is something that is a little harder to think next. But whenever you see minimize the maximize the minimum, your brain should say this, right? So basically this is an allocation problem, that there is two groups A and B. I have to allocate the points. Now whenever you get a problem like this, ki I have to allocate into two groups, either it will be some sort of DP or it should be some sort of like graph problem, or kya kar sakte ho? What else, or maybe some greedy, I don't know, right? It can be some greedy DP graph. My thesis in my life is I always explore greedy the last. ठीक है, पता नहीं greedy होगा नहीं होगा, दिमाग खराब हो जाता है, ठीक है, तो explore it at the last. Okay, bunch of points, I have to minimize, minimum distance should be greater than equal to X. I cannot maintain, DP cannot maintain a set of points on a plane with any pair uh, having greater than equal to X ka check. There is no such thing that I know of, right? There is no such thing that I know of just say I can maintain in a DP, like some DP of n comma like ith point pe main hu, and I will divide into A group, B group. There is no way I can maintain in two variables like this. And bitmask is not possible because there is 500 points, so it's not possible, right? So then I think about ki acha, I have to allocate in two groups. Whenever I have to allocate in two groups, one possibility is in graph we know that there is a two coloring which we can do, which is same as dividing it into two groups, and that is almost like bipartite checking, which actually this problem will boil down into, which I thought. Because now if you see any 2 points, if I have to make it greater than equal to X, if it is actually greater than equal to X, then there is no problem between them. But if you add an edge between problematic points, that this is less than X, this is less than X, this is less than X, you have to somehow allocate them colors such that no two things that are at a distance less than X should be in the same group. This is a standard graph problem called bipartite coloring. How many of you know bipartite coloring? Quick +1, -1. Now try to think about this solution in entirety. Give me a quick 1 minute. Somebody's at the door. I'll just quickly take the delivery once. Okay. Can we do bipartite coloring using BFS DFS? Yes, exactly. That is the algorithm to be used here. You run a DFS to do the coloring and check if you can actually color it. If you can color it, then good to go. If you cannot, then this check will return false and the binary search and answer will propagate. If you could not detect this is a binary search and answer, please go ahead and watch the binary search course on mang.in. It's something that will save you a hell lot of time in these kind of problems, right? If you are not sensing that minimize the maximum in a problem, then it's not good. I mean, like, you should sense this. Okay, this is what you need to practice next. Like, just solving questions will not help you. So some of them get flag removed later on. If there was n group, then you have to check for n coloring. 3 coloring onwards is NP hard, so you can't do that. But this question was 2 coloring, so you should be able to do it. Okay, it's fine if you are able to solve all 5 problems on your all 4 problems on your own, and if you think people are cheating, it doesn't really matter. Okay, become good. That's it. Rank rating is just a transient measure of your skill. There has been times when even in countries the rule was wrong and people could plunder things, but eventually things become correct. Now you can cry all about ki, oh, why is this in my time, why is cheating being allowed and all, or you can think about upskilling yourself and becoming really good. Okay, the choice is in your hand. If you want to improve, you can improve. If you be like, oh, सब चीटिंग कर रहे हैं, पढ़ाई करके क्या फायदा, वैसे बातें करोगे तो फिर तो कुछ भी करके फायदा नहीं है, छोड़ दो सब चीज. राइट भाई, आप एग्जॉस्ट हो जाते हो? नहीं यार, एग्जॉस्ट तो इतना इजीली तो नहीं होता. Okay, clear everyone? So this was the idea. Minimize the maximum binary search. How do you check? Bipartite checking. Okay. डे एंड तक ऐसा कुछ नहीं यार. फिर थोड़ा बहुत एनिमे एनिमे देख लेता हूँ, टाइम रहता है मेरे पास थोड़ा बहुत रात को, तो मूवी बुक देख लेता हूँ या कुछ एनिमे देख लेता हूँ. एग्जॉस्ट तो नहीं होता मैं इतना इजीली. आई एम नॉट डूइंग दैट एग्जॉस्टफुल वर्क, आई फील. मतलब ऐसा तो नहीं है. Let's move to the next contest. Quick +1 if things are clear up till this. Quick like to the stream if you think this has been helpful, so that it reaches to more people on YouTube and people find good things. Please tell. 7 घंटे यार, 7 घंटे सो लेता हो जाए. आपका थ्रेशोल्ड काफी ज्यादा है. मतलब नहीं, मतलब मैंने इतना काम एक्चुअली नहीं किया आज. मतलब हर करता हूँ, मतलब आई डू वर्क बट not every day, but I have worked for fairly good amount of times, and yeah, threshold ज़्यादा है. I agree to that. Not for every day, but most of the days, yes. I'm able to think of brute force and optimal one because you're trying to memorize the solutions. Then that's why you're not able to think of new solutions on problems. But yeah, any tips for Google interview? If you reach out to me on LinkedIn, if you have shortlists, if you have interviews lined up, I can help you on that. So I can give you some resources. I am first how to DSA question. Okay. I am not the perfect person. I don't know the answer to that. शुरू करो भाई. AZ101 शुरू करो mang.in पे. Do you smoke? No. चलो पढ़ाई की बातें करो. Let's get started. Let's come back to solving questions. Let's start with the next 2 problems. What is this question? This was the tree problem. I'll look at this. This one I taught in the last class only. Right. This problem, I don't know if some students from my last class is available in the stream from B10. This was something I taught in the last class, ancestral property. And it came in the weekly contest. Where is my the same almost similar question? Almost similar question. Where is the trees wala question? Oh no, I took it in B11. The same question. I'll show you. There are only limited ideas in trees. I'll show you. Yeah, this problem. For each node, find the farthest value on the path to root, which is ancestor, and find the closest value from path to root, which is ancestor. This is a data structure that you need to know. ये तो तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए. Okay. Yeah. Basically, whenever you are at a particular node, you can maintain a data structure for things from previously things. Okay. And this is something you need to learn. I'll show you. I'll teach you. Don't worry. Okay. This is an exact same question of that. And how many pairs is perfect square? ये भी तुमसे होना चाहिए. This is easy question. I mean, if you know the two tricks involved, मतलब अगर एजेड वाले कुछ स्टूडेंट से नहीं हुआ ये क्वेश्चन तो पढ़ाई वापस स्टार्ट करो. ठीक है. दिस वाज if you couldn't solve this problem. Paired cubes. Yes, correct. I was looking for that problem name. Paired cubes. And I think I took it in my I think you guys can look at this problem. Okay. Basically, find the number of pairs such that the product is a cube. इसमें बस find the number of pairs whose the product is a square. The question is only changing by this. Okay. Find the number of pairs whose product is a square. Find the number of numbers whose product is a cube. How to solve this one problem? This is one technique. The second technique that was involved in this problem is that tree wala thing that I showed. I'll teach you that. Okay. So if you know these two techniques, this problem is like direct 1 second question. मतलब देखते ही तुमसे होना चाहिए कि दो नंबर का ancestor में मेरे को I need to find possible pairings with this. I need to maintain some data structure of the ancestors. It's a tree wala question, tree data structure of ancestor question. Find how many of them are perfect square. It's that same question as paired queue. If you know the two problems, you should be able to solve this problem instantly. Okay. Anyways, we'll come to this. In fact, let's start. If we have started, let's cover this idea. Okay, let's cover this idea. Are we given a tree? Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you so most of the people, what they try to do is like they try to memorize this one problem. But the blueprint is actually there are two techniques involved in this problem. If you know those techniques, they can be used in other problems. Most people think like, कि, oh, ये question है इसका आंसर ये याद कर लो. ऐसे नहीं काम होता है. You have to learn the two techniques. There are two techniques involved in this problem. If you don't know them individually, if you have not practiced, then you cannot solve this problem. Impossible. It's impossible to solve this problem if you don't know that technique. A lot of LeetCode reaching till Guardian, if I have to think about it, Guardian, if you have to think, 80% is knowing a lot of techniques. 80% of that is knowing a lot of techniques. I cannot stress on how much better can you do if you know so many techniques. Okay. 20% would be maybe speed, accuracy, and maybe on in contest presence and stuff of mind and all those things. But 80% is directly how many techniques you know. Okay. So basically, when you are at a particular point, you need to know how many of the things from the ancestors can combine with it. So we need to maintain some data structure in which we can insert this new point. Okay. Suppose there is another subtree. So when you come back from this and you go to here, in DFS we can remove this and then insert this. So data structure should support remove, and it should support get pairings, like how many things can pair with this value x. Suppose you have data structure and you have maintained 2 and 8. You have inserted 2, you have inserted 8 in the data structure. Then for 2 you should be able to quickly query how many numbers pair with this on this. Okay, so first question first, given a set of numbers, how can I quickly check how many numbers when multiplied with x from this set will give me a square? Okay, how do you quickly find that from this? Okay, the idea involved in that is, if x is say 2 square, 3 cube, 4 square, 4 to the power 4, 7 to, sorry, 4 is not a prime number, 7 to the power 5 and so on. Okay, technically 2 to the power 2 is already a square. It's not doing any problem to us. 3 to the power 3 is 3 to the power 1 and 3 square. So 3 square is already a square. So it doesn't do a problem to us. 7 to the power 4 and 7 to the power 1. 7 to the power 4 is already a square. If you do a square root, these will automatically remove from the square root. So you can remove them. The only thing in x that are not already square is 7 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1 and 7 to the power 1. So now when you multiply with y and do a square root, whatever are already like paired, like say 2 square, 9, 11 square, all these things, if you remove, it should give you 3 to the power 1, 7 to the power 1, which means both of them should have the same odd prime numbers present. If you prime factorize the numbers, the odd primes that are available, the odd power primes that are available should be same in the two number. If you know that, just build that like prime factorization and see how many others in the data structure has the same prime factorization. If you find that, you will be able to do it. This is the first problem I took in the ICPC camp season 2. Anybody from ICPC season 2 still watching my YouTube channel? Most people be like, padhai ho gaya. But then if you're still watching my YouTube channel, probably you should have been able to see this, no? So I solved this problem in class. Right? Correct. So this is the technique. And then the other thing that you do is in DFS, when you write DFS for a tree, when you enter a node, like you can like you will already like you can maintain a data structure outside. Okay. So when you enter a node, you will data structure dot get answer for x. Suppose you get the answer for this number x with the previous things maintained in the data structure. How many things pair with this to get this? Okay. अरे ये paired वाला बताया था ना अक्षत? I know. Paired cube, paired square. Yeah, first day, first question. Yeah, correct. So you get the answer from the previous thing. Now what you do, that you insert data structure dot insert x, because this now gets inserted. Then you do for all child DFS of the child. Okay. Now for this child, you will find its answer from this data structure, from this answer. Now what happens is, when you go here in the tree, you will find this answer and you will insert it. Before coming back in DFS to the other child, you should remove that thing. So when you are coming back from DFS from this node, you should do data structure dot remove x. थोड़ा सा डे वाइज प्रीमियम कोर्स खोलो, सीजन 3 में जाओ, उसके मैथ्स प्राइम फैक्टराइजेशन वाले क्वेश्चन में जाओ, देखो उसमें है। ये मैंने लाइव में नहीं पढ़ा है, बट उसमें है ये क्वेश्चन असाइनमेंट में, ध्यान से देखो। Day wise premium phase 3, if you go to the math section of that, you will get this same question, paired cube wala. Okay. I don't know how did I teach in the last week, but did I get a sense ki aane wala hai is week? Yeah, correct. We can also answer the kth ancestor queries. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I think I have taken this up in one of my YouTube live stream. Yeah, bhai, premium device karo, complete karo. विवेक आपकी डीपी सीरीज बेस्ट है। बेस्ट तो नहीं है, इट्स नॉट वेरी बिगिनर फ्रेंडली, बट किसी ने डीपी ऊपर ऊपर पढ़ लिया, थोड़ा 10-15 प्रॉब्लम कर लिया, शीट वीट कर लिया, उसके बाद मेरा प्लेलिस्ट तो बेस्ट, दैट आई गेस, समझने के लिए कि नया क्वेश्चन कैसे सॉल्व करें। मेरा स्पेशलिटी, आई हैव टोल्ड दिस एन नंबर ऑफ टाइम ऑन दिस चैनल, देयर इज अ लेवल 1, तुम एक लैंग्वेज सीखो C++, लेवल 2 तुम थोड़ा डीएसए बेसिक सीखो, कुछ हाथ पांव मार के बेसिक चीजें सीख के आओ थोड़ा, कि जो यूट्यूब पे प्लेलिस्ट होती है या कुछ क्वेश्चंस होते हैं शीट वीट के, ये करके आओ। लेवल 3 जो है वो है जहां पर मैं पढ़ाता हूँ, यहाँ पर विवेक सर बैठ। तो थोड़ा सा अगर आता है तो विवेक सर सही है, अगर कुछ भी नहीं आता है तो फिर आई थिंक you might find my channel fairly hard. Okay, that's the issue. Can you suggest more questions on ancestor property? Uh, I don't have questions off the bat, but like you can think of finding, like for every node, find the closest value in the ancestor. Like if you can do, like this is just a data structure question. Like there is nothing more to teach. Okay. This is the problem why algorithm is not told to you by most of your friends who are doing good. क्योंकि लोगों की मेंटालिटी यही रहती है, किसी को नहीं बताऊंगा नहीं तो कंपटीशन बढ़ जाएगा। सेकंड सी प्रीवियस ईयर प्रोयोरिटी, सर प्राइस इंक्रीज कर दो जल्दी, हो रहा है ऑलरेडी, लास्ट मंथ हो गया है, इट्स इंक्रीजिंग ओनली बिकॉज वी हैव अ सेट size of classroom which I cannot increase because of learning constraints, and since we are getting more demand, so it's only going to increase. And abhi it's may, like I don't know if you have seen it, should I already reveal it to you guys, should I do that, batao. There is a new thing that I'm planning which I haven't taken before, but it's absolutely going to be bangers. I think I was gonna reveal it on one of my uh, should I reveal it, batao. Cohort 13, no, cohort 13 is the usual, wo to hoga hi, that is always gonna come. That's probably gonna make, please add more EMI card option because I'm not able to buy it. Okay, talk to the team if it's possible to add it to some other vendor and then get it to AZ. Okay, chalo, give me just 1 sec, I'll open up a screen and I'll show you. This is something I haven't revealed yet. It's probably planned in November, and some of you might know it. The link is in the chat. Okay. This is something we are hosting for the first time. This is almost at parallel with ICPSC camp, but on the other realm. Okay. I think you guys can grab the early seat right now. If you haven't, it's going to increase from day after tomorrow. Change it. I shouldn't have given it to right now, but only people who watch my live stream will get it right now. Okay. It's actually going to be priced a little higher, probably. It has not been finalized, but if you guys get it now, you'll get it. Okay. Cool. You guys can look at it. This is one of its kind. A very different framework. I'll just quickly present, share my screen. This is next level thing. This I highly recommend people do this. हाँ AZ वालों के लिए नहीं है. Those who are already in AZ Premium, you don't need to worry about it. This is something that I'll be teaching, and I'll give you a framework. No. If you are in AZ Premium, then you don't need to buy. But if you want to attend, then you can attend. It's a 4-week thing. But I can guarantee if you attend it, I don't feel you will have to ever think about LLD and machine coding, like the LLD type of problems that are coming in today's interviews. It's like master resource for everything. It's like it's almost as powerful as my DP framework. It's almost as like if I have to draw a parallelism, it's almost as हाँ उससे अलग है मतलब तुम मेरे क्रैश कोर्स का एक्सटेंशन है आई थिंक राइट ओके प्रीरिक्विजिट्स कुछ नहीं प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज C++ और जावा it will be in both the languages. Okay, so this is something we'll do in this only for folks who are on this live stream. This is actually going to be, I think, 1400 like 1500 on initially, and then it will increase to 2000, similar to ICPSC camp. Okay. If you have any queries regarding this, I think you guys can do the callback thing on the website and get the idea. If you have some query, should I join the premium or should I join this and so on, just fill this up and you'll get we can talk to the team. Okay, it will be, I think it will be 1500 itself. Seems justified, and it's mostly targeted for final year students and working professionals mostly. Yes, interview bootcamp will run in the last 2 weeks of this month, don't worry. Okay, chalo, let's come back. हाँ obviously is it premium वालों को अलग से नहीं लेना है, don't worry. प्रीमियम का तो वो पर्पस ही है ना कि एवरीथिंग दैट कम्स विल गेट इंक्लूडेड इन एजेड प्रीमियम्स लाइब्रेरी. ओके, एंड तुम लोग के लिए तो क्लासेस भी होंगी, डोंट वरी. ओके, सो दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम, दिस इज द टू टेक्निक्स. Okay, it will not benefit. Yeah, there are some problems that I've taken which I have covered in STL and so on. It's eventually is like the whole course only. Okay, chalo, let's come back. So this is 3714 problem. This one we discussed ancestral property maintenance and this problem. Try to cover this paired cube wala problem that I showed. That is the best problem to practice this question. Okay, if you know these two techniques, you can solve this. If you don't, then you cannot solve this problem. Clear, everyone? Should I join 12? You can join cohort 12, and if you think its pace is too high, then you can always shift to the next cohort if you have studied some DSA before. Okay, question 3 I have not seen, so it's going to be interesting. Let's see. So question 3 is given a string consisting of ABC, a substring of is balance if all distinct character in the substring appears the same number of times. Length of longest balanced substring of S. Interesting. Yeah, obviously the premium will get live access. You are given a string S consisting only of character ABC if its all distinct characters are appearing same number of times. Very, very interesting problem, right? Okay. So if I get from here to here, this is both distinct two times, right? This one is harder than four. Yeah, I think I'll need to do it for every possible character composition, like A, B, C, A, B, B, C, A, B, C, all three. Like I think that is what we'll have to do. I feel, yeah, you can shift once to the next cohort only if you are not able to cope up. Yeah. Distinct character. I'm thinking minimum frequency equal to maximum frequency of this. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. But then, like, we cannot really check it directly. Length of the longest balanced substring, because if x length is balanced, that doesn't mean x plus 1 length will be balanced or x minus 1 length will be balanced. So here we this property balanced substring, okay, balanced substring of S, uh, this property is not really monotonic, because my brain, the only thing, like, how did you figure out that we have to do it for this? Because I can see that there are only three characters, so I can do for all. That is something I'm exploring. Second is my brain, like whatever you guys think, I think in like probably 10x or maybe 20x the speed. So if you can think something in 20 minutes, it will take me 1 minute. That's the speed at which I think the difference would be. Because as soon as I read this balance substring ka property, I'm like, ye monotonic nahi hai. So I cannot use two pointers or binary search. Other thing is like ABC only. Why did they give only three characters? Why did they not give me 26 characters? Because I can do all possible subsets or all possible combination, right? So that is what my brain immediately tells me as soon as I read the problem. Ki, why did they give me only three? Why not ये दिया ही क्यों? If they would not have given this A to Z, तो भी क्यों हो पा? तो भी तो हो सकता था ना problem. But they chose to give me this. Why? Because they might want me to use this information. Okay. Second thing, as soon as I read that this property is all distinct, I try to, my brain immediately thinks, oh, if A, B, B, A is there, if there is C, then I cannot use C, and it is no longer satisfying. Even this is not satisfying. But like for this starting point, for this start, till this it will satisfy, this will not satisfy, this will not satisfy. So for every starting point, if I think about contribution technique, there are some points which will not satisfy as an end, there will be some that will satisfy as an end. So it's like very discrete space. I cannot use two techniques that uses this idea that when you start there are finite points and it's like a monotonic space, are binary search and two pointers. I cannot deploy these two techniques in this problem. Okay. I obviously draw this sample and I see ye nahi ho raha, ye nahi ho raha, but ye ho raha. So for this start, there are only finite endpoints which are worthwhile for me. Okay. And then ABC is there. So why did they give me three? Maybe I should try AB, BC, ABC, because I have to find their frequencies. Okay. Now there are two directions to explore. One is, should I try this because single A, B, C, A, B, B, C, C, A, B, C present these kind of characters. These things will separately check. Okay. Uh, Next is, if I have this start point, okay, and if I have this end point, what is my expression to check that this range is valid? That the frequency, if I build prefix sums of A, prefix sum of B, prefix sum of C, I can get the count of A in the range, count of B in the range, count of C in the range, and this triplet, these two needs to be either same, or this and the other one has to be zero. Okay. So doing this triplet check is like, there are so many possibilities and I cannot really check it with a map. So probably I'll go this direction, that they give me 3 characters, frequency of every non-zero is equal to non-zero frequency. Yeah, that is true, but that value can be anything, no? So how do you check it with a map? Just say when you want to have a target sum equal to x, we do this, right? That prefix sum of r minus prefix sum of L minus 1 should be equal to x. From that, we derive ki acha, if you know the R, you can derive this ki acha, in the array for this R point, how many different L values are feasible. From this data structure, we can get it. Okay. If they have given that it should contain both A, B, C, all the three, if the question said that it should contain all three and all of them are equal, then the question might have been easier. If this is x, 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 I can subtract this with the other two, and I would have written count of B minus count of A and count of C minus count of A. And if this corresponds to 0, 0, then I am done. If this corresponds to 0, 0, then they have the equal frequencies, right? If for a range, count of A, if you subtract count of A from count of B and count of C, they both should come out to 0. Then all three are present in equal portions. But in the question, they have given that something can be 0 also. That's what made the problem a little longer to solve, probably. Right, that is what made the problem to stop. Like we can do this using a map, the same technique that we use in prefix sum and like this target sum problem of LeetCode. Because the question says that they have to be equal frequency. So if they are x, 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 then I can subtract, and it can, x can be anything. So if I subtract, then these two needs to be 0. As long as these two values are 0, means all three have the same frequency, no? As long as this is 0, count of this is 0, isn't? If this corresponds to 0, 0, then C, it says count of C is equal to count of A, and this says B equal to A, which is A, B, C. Right? But the question doesn't say that we can have 0 also, which makes this problem a little harder. Okay. But if the question would have said, this is a very, very common technique to solve a lot of problems, which you should actually master. I know that many of you would see this for the first time. This is a very beautiful technique. Okay. And I'll explain this. This technique is what you also use unknowingly in this problem of prefix sum, like target sum problem. There is this question, right? Find how many pairs in the array sum up to x. Target sum question. I think it's a LeetCode classic problem. Have you all solved that problem? Find the number of pairs whose sum is equal to x in a map, in an array. Have you solved this problem? Have you solved this problem, everyone? Find the number of pairs in an array. How many number of pair of elements exist in an array whose sum is equal to x? Plus 1. Absolutely. Yes, subarray sum equal to x. That's also fine. Prefix sum wala logic, right? What does that actually try to do? It says, hey, prefix sum, I'm iterating on 1. And if I know the value of r, I know this part of expression, I know this part of expression. I need to find how many else exist such that this is equal to some certain value. The pivot contribution, yes, I taught in the last batch, right? That you need to maintain a data structure that can quickly give me how many else are feasible for a given r. How many else are feasible in given r? Okay, that's what we are basically finding. In this also, that's what we are looking for, isn't it? That given this r, how many else are there such that this has equal number of ABC. Let's assume the case that it will contain all ABC. Okay, let's assume that it will contain A and B and C. Okay, so if this contains ABC, and if we need to find the suitable RL values, I can get the number of A's in this range by building a prefix sum of A separately, prefix sum of B, prefix sum of C, right? to get from like if this is A, B, B, A, C, I can convert to this array 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 0, sorry, and 0 0 0 0 1. This is the C array, B array, A array, and I can build prefix sum on top of them. Now if I need to say that, hey, from this ending point, for this, say suppose this ending point, okay, let's do for this ending point only because we are building till now. How many suitable points are there? So if it needs to contain ABC, for this L, whatever is the number of A's before this minus number of A's before this. So count of A in this range should be count of B in this range, should be count of C equal to in this range, which is not true in this case. But suppose you add another C, which is 0 0 1. Now count of A in this range is equal to 2, B equal to C equal to 2. So what do you basically try to measure? At this endpoint, you try to see what is from the start my count of C minus count of A, comma, count of B minus count of A. Sad. You can use the what is that? If you guys are not finding links, I think I'll use that. What is that? Can use my link tree. That should be enough. So this is the number that you maintain. Count of C minus count of A, count of B minus count of A. Okay. If I this is a value of R, let's say this at this point, whatever it is, from the start. Okay. And if you subtract this value from here, then you will be remaining with count of C in this range, count of A in this range, count of B in this range, count of A in this range, right? Correct. So what you are trying to say is count of R minus count of L. I'm just saying L is, let's say, L minus 1 for this case. C of L is equal to A of, yeah, exactly what Kavan has written in the chat. A of R minus A of L. If it's from L plus 1 to R is what you are getting as a subarray, which is satisfying. And C, let's say B of R minus B of L, this is the number of B's in this range, should be equal to A of R minus A of L. Is this the condition? Yes or no? Because number of A is equal to number of B is equal to number of C's. Now we can write this by making this A of R, C of R minus A of R equal to C of L minus A of L. B of R minus A of R equal to B of L minus A of L. So if you are at a certain endpoint as an R and you can get these two values, which L points will satisfy as a valid endpoint? Okay, I'll correct that, Krishna. Thanks for pointing it out. Listen to this. Okay, this is way more interesting. So if this is what we want to check in the range, that converts to this, which means if this R point is the endpoint, which starting point will be valid, which has the same like this value matching and this value matching. So we can couple these up like in a pair for every endpoint, and we can just search in map how many times have you seen the same value before, and you will get the number of suitable endpoints. Does that make sense to everyone? This is the main idea of the problem. Is this clear all? Annoying to implement all combinations. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think I can. I can make it any easier. You can make a separate function in quality. That is true, but I think only the BC case is what is like. This is a little complicated. These two cases are comparatively easier to solve. Like you cannot take any C, so just break whenever you're getting. And if you're getting A, B, just maintain the counter, and you can get. You can do something similar in prefix sums. Yeah, L index should also be included. Correct. This is the idea of the problem. Clear, everyone? Does this make sense to all? This is how you are supposed to manipulate expressions. There are similar ideas like this which has appeared before. I mean, this is made a function for two characters. This sorry, I did not. My mistake. I did not write it exhaustively. AC can also be a case, right? Basically, all possible combinations, all possible combinations of the characters. 2 letter, 1 letter, 3 letter. Okay. Like actually it's very boring question. I'm just thinking, can I make the implementation any better? Like in a single code, can I do this? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I can think of any single function implementation of this. If I just keep, how do you always think only right thing in the one go? Because I can prove my solution is correct, Pratik. I think this is also one thing that I feel that differentiates and you can try to improve is that my level of conviction in my solutions is very high. Okay. मतलब I can see कि मेरा solution correct है. मतलब मैं सोचता नहीं हूँ कि correct है कि नहीं है. I know कि correct है. तुम समझ रहे हो? Because I am proving this very fast. These things are happening in my brain, and of course I have seen similar problem before. Yeah. मैंने ये भी सोचा कि like can I maintain some property for the range or not? ये endpoints का कोई कुछ निकाल सकते क्या quickly? But I couldn't find anything quickly for the 2-3 things. So इसलिए I came back to that. Of course, I do not like for the in the interest of time, I do not explore everything, and also my brain does these things very fast. Also, I have seen similar problem before. It's not like I'm seeing these expressions first time. I have seen questions like this: find the number of range in L to R such that if you like this range will satisfy certain property, right? Say this range will be can be rearranged to palindrome. Okay, A B C C. Can you check if this can be converted to palindrome or not? The way you do that is you maintain bit parity. Like you convert this to 100, you convert this to 010, you convert this to 100, 100, 010, 001, 001. If you take XOR of the range, you will get 1 because it's odd number of times, 0. For a range L to R to be palindrome, right? For a range to be palindrome, only one bit can be 1. So if you know that at R, the prefix XOR is something, say prefix XOR is some X, you can search for a suitable L because whatever needs to XOR, like if you have the prefix XOR till this much as Y, then X XOR Y can have only one bit on, which means suitable values of Y are only X XOR either 100 or X XOR 010 or X XOR 0101. Search for these values in a map from the previous things as prefix XORs in the map and you will get the count. Yeah, some not 2 to the power k. There are only order 32, like number of bits, like whatever number of bits are there, like say number of characters into O of n. That's it. These are all similar ideas. And what people do is like people are randomly solving questions. नहीं होता है वैसे. You have to learn these ideas. Okay. This is what you have to practice. अब ये प्रॉब्लम देखा तुमने आज ये स्ट्रीम पे इतने सारे आइडियाज देखे, अब तुम नेक्स्ट टाइम जाकर के इससे आगे चीजें देखोगे. मैनेकर तो पैलिंड्रोम सबस्ट्रिंग चेक करता है, एनाग्राम टू पैलिंड्रोम नहीं चेक करता है. लाइक यू हैव टू रीअरेंज एंड गेट इट एज पैलिंड्रोम. दिस इज द क्वेश्चन वाज सेइंग कैन यू रीअरेंज द लेटर्स ऑफ एल टू आर टू पैलिंड्रोम और नॉट. पैनेकर तो एग्जैक्टली पैलिंड्रोम है कि नहीं बताता है एल टू आर, राइट. रीअरेंज करने पे क्या होता है, इफ यू मैनेज एवरी कैरेक्टर इन बिट्स, द zor ऑफ द रेंज शुड हैव ओनली वन बिट ऑन, बिकॉज उसको सेंटर में रख के बाकी सबको कैंसिल कर देंगे दो साइड पे रख के, right? That's the idea. So for a prefix zor of something, you can zor it with one of the bits, change one of the bits, and that should be the other side's prefix zor. तभी उस range का zor का एक ही bit on होगा. These are like all different variations of the same problem. So मैनेकर O of n में solve कैसे करता है, इसके लिए मेरे YouTube पे एक 30 मिनट्स की वीडियो है, वो देख लिया जाए तो हो जाएगा, समझ में आ जाएगा कैसे करता है. ठीक है. अगर वो वीडियो, आई थिंक वो भी वन ऑफ द बेस्ट वीडियोस ऑफ मैनेकर है, आई फील, बिकॉज मुझे भी कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं मिला था कभी जब मैं पढ़ रहा था, तो मैंने सोचा ये वीडियो तो बनाना पड़ेगा. Then and one of the possibilities, it should be exactly equal to x, 1 bit on or 0 bit on. Vivek, how do I prove ideas correctly? It's a thing of practice, to be very honest. How do you improve it? One of the ways that I suggest to improve practice, actually two ways. One is you can read some good number theory and combinatorics maths Olympiad books. It helps. Okay. Second thing that you can do, like Arthur Angel is there. There is a book that I have mentioned multiple times. INMO का एक book, Rajiv Mano का करके. These books का chapter तुम लोग पढ़ सकते हो. The second thing that I think which you can do at low effort is go to code forces, filter 1400 or 1300 to 1700 constructive problems, attempt every problem to 20 minutes, and try to only see editorial text. एक तो most of the people have lost their capacity to see editorial text. अगर तुम text से नहीं पढ़ सकते, you can never be good at proofs. Sadly, that's the idea. You cannot become good at proofs without reading text, because proofs are very sequential in nature. Videos are very visual in nature. So visual learning से तुम directive या sequential learning में improve नहीं कर सकते. In videos, I can jump here, and so on. But when you see a text and you learn from there, no, you have to build a sequential model. जो ऐसे model तुम्हारे दिमाग में ऐसे, हाँ, ये इसके बाद ये, इसके बाद ये, इसके बाद ये, तो ये ऐसे करके. तो it basically improves that a lot. तुम्हारा brain उसमें improve होता है. Sadly, we are to a realm where everybody thinks कि विवेक वीडियो बना दो इस चीज का. You cannot beat text editorial with a video ever in my life. I cannot believe I would be the same if I would have gone through video tutorials instead of this. Video tutorial helps. These videos help. तो पता लगे अच्छा ये भी होता है, ये भी होता है, मैं इसको explore करता हूँ, ये पढ़ता हूँ. But no amount of video tutorials can convert this idea of looking at this. So 1300 to 1600, go to code forces, look at constructive problems, try to solve it, look at their editorials, try to read line by line, try to understand कि क्यों बोल रहा है वो ये. Why is it saying this? Draw it in a notebook. And that's how you become good at proofs. There is no other way of improving it. I'll tell you. Beyond a certain point, if you're thinking कि मेरा ad hoc क्यों improve नहीं हो रहा है, why is my greedy not improving? Because you have not read and derived enough number of things. Do you understand कि मैं जो तुम्हें आज पढ़ाया, इन चीजों को इस तरह से पढ़ाने के लिए, how much clarity and how many times would I have thought about it in my brain? It's not about the number of problems actually. It's actually the clarity and the thought that I have went through in my brain multiple times कि ऐसा कर रहे तो ये नंबर बना दिया मैंने ताकि ये जीरो हो जाए. This idea I have seen before, and the clarity of the understanding of that problem, ये रट के नहीं हो सकता कभी भी. तो जब आइडिया सीख रहे हो तो उसको इंटरनाइज करो. लाइक व्हाई डिड दिस वर्क, मतलब जब तक क्वेश्चन क्यों काम किया मुझे समझ में नहीं आया तो कोई फायदा नहीं पढ़ाई करके. जब तक उसके ब्लू वो क्वेश्चन तुमने बोला कि विवेक ये मैंने याद कर लिया, अरे इसके जो दो पोर्शन है ये क्यों काम करते हैं मुझे एकदम इंटरनल नहीं पता कि ये क्यों काम करता है एक तो, और दूसरा ये वाला पार्ट जो हाउ डू यू रिड्यूस इट टू दिस, ये दोनों प्रॉब्लम मुझे इंडिविजुअली मेरे अंदर तक मेरे को एकदम कन्विक्शन नहीं कि व्हाई दिस वर्क्स, तब तक मैं क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर ही नहीं सकता, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल। या फिर इफ आई ट्राई टू सॉल्व आई लाइक स्टम्बल इन माय कीबोर्ड कि मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है कॉन्टेस्ट में, कभी भी इट विल नेवर हैपन। The only way you can do these problems is actually if you learn these techniques, number one, like पहले solve किया होना चाहिए थोड़ा सा, obviously it helps. Second thing is you prove what you do, मतलब ये क्यों काम कर रहा है मेरे दिमाग में, मैंने ऐसा लिख दिया बस insert delete, बट कितनी क्लैरिटी होगी इसको एक्सप्लेन, इसको समझने के लिए, ये क्लैरिटी बिल्ड करना पड़ता है प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करके, कि ये नहीं कि भैया ये क्वेश्चन रट लिए। अब तुम बोलोगे विवेक इसमें टाइम लगेगा और ज्यादा क्वेश्चन करना पड़ेगा, सैडली दैट्स व्हाई आई डोंट एड्रेस द क्वेश्चन कि विवेक आपके जैसा कैसे बने, क्योंकि ये तो करना पड़ेगा फिर, और कोई तरीका नहीं है, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल टू रीच दिस लेवल ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग। मतलब मेरा आई एम नॉट बिकॉज आई कैन सॉल्व हार्ड प्रॉब्लम्स और आई हैव मेमोराइज सो मेनी हार्ड प्रॉब्लम्स, नो आई एम नॉट द वे आई एम दैट, like I'm way I am right now. The reason why I am able to solve hard problems is because these individual foundational techniques are super strong. ये प्रॉब्लम बाइनरी सर्च पे आया हम, दो सिंपल मैंने ड्रॉ किया, मिनिमम का मैक्सिमम, बाइनरी सर्च, आई हैव टू डिजाइन दिस चेक फंक्शन व्हिच कैन चेक द क्वेश्चन इज फीजिबल और नॉट, my brain says dp graph या greedy, I order them always in this order because I can always check something is dp or not, because I have learned my, like if you have learned my forms you can always think कि ये dp होगा नहीं होगा, right, in like at least 5 minutes of time कि कुछ state बन रहा है नहीं बन रहा है, to manage the restriction. Then if you go to graph, then you will see, oh, this is a bipartite question, then I can model it in the graph immediately. And फिर कुछ नहीं हो रहा, then I might have tried some greedy कि अच्छा, oh maybe I'll divide the space into some grid type and then see quadrant wise, कुछ तो greedy try करता है, I might have tried something कि इसके लिए farthest निकालता, उसके लिए farthest निकालता, farthest कुछ तो करता greedy, I don't know. But your plan should be clear, मतलब ये नहीं कि random कर रहा हूँ, मैं random नहीं कर रहा हूँ ये सब चीजें, this is planned, मतलब ये दिमाग में मेरे planning काम कर रहा है, ठीक है। Most of the problems are like about quickly detecting the idea, and then in that you are trying to detect what sub problem it boils down into, again a new set of problem. It's always like process of elimination कि कौन सा नहीं लगेगा उसको जल्दी हटाओ, कौन सा लगेगा उसको एक्सप्लोर करो, यू हैव टू बी गुड एट डीपी टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये डीपी नहीं है। थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है क्या बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ? ऑफकोर्स मैं, विवेक आप बहुत हाई लेवल बातें कर रहे हो, ये सब चीजें मत बताओ, मुझे बताओ कि मैं अच्छा कैसे करूँ, दैट आल्सो मेक्स सेंस, बट अगेन truth be told, this is the reality, okay, एंड ये लेवल की क्लैरिटी तुम बार बार एआई चला के भी नहीं ला पाओगे। इट्स लाइक मतलब तुम्हारे पास एक बुक है, तुम्हारी खुद की मेमोरी की बुक, एप्लीकेशन की बुक है ना, तुम पहले पेंसिल लेते थे, उसको ऐसे लिखते थे उस पे बार बार, राइट, एंड तब तुम जाके उसको याद कर पाते थे, एंड देन यू विल एबल टू मेमोराइज दैट, ओके। Now what has happened is if AI comes and it pours like a lot of graphite ऐसे करके ऊपर से graphite powder डाल दोगे नोटबुक पे, एंड फिर नोटबुक तुम लेके जाओगे बाहर, उस पे कुछ रहेगा क्या? Unless that it's neither your notebook nor that graphite which really matters. Is the friction between your pencil and your notebook which was actually making you retain things. तुमने वही करना अगर बंद कर दिया तो कोई फायदा नहीं है, चाहे तुम्हारे पास इनफाइनाइट इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाए, चाहे तुम्हारे पास इनफाइनाइट मेमोरी आ जाए, नोटबुक आ जाए, तुमने फ्रिक्शन हटा दिया अगर अपने लर्निंग में, लोगों को लगता है कि मुझे फ्रिक्शन हटा दो विवेक, जल्दी से सिखा दो, नहीं होता है वैसा। दैट्स वाई मैं एजेड में भी बोलता हूँ कि 300 प्रॉब्लम दिन में 1 घंटा लग रहा है, मौत आ रही है, करना पड़ेगा, और कोई तरीका ही नहीं है अच्छा बनने का, और कोई अच्छा ही नहीं है, और कोई तो मतलब तरीका ही नहीं है, और कोई बैठ के ड्रॉ करके सोचना पड़ेगा क्यों नहीं चल रहा है, क्यों चल रहा है ये कोड, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम, व्हाई इज दिस लॉजिक वर्किंग, व्हाट इज द लॉजिक नॉट वर्किंग, उसके अलावा कोई तरीका ही नहीं है। और कैन यू एक्सप्लेन द zigzag arrays of LeetCode DP? zigzag arrays ये कौन सा क्वेश्चन है, ये तो नहीं था कॉन्टेस्ट में, कहीं पर लास्ट कॉन्टेस्ट में था क्या? Is this last contest question? No, then I cannot take it at this point. It's already been 11:45. Okay. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ? Minimum operations to make array equal to target. ये कौन सा प्रॉब्लम था? मुझे अभी ऐसे तो नहीं दिख रहा है. ओके, ठीक, करो प्रैक्टिस, और कोई तरीका नहीं है, मैंने बता ही दिया है. कोई तुम्हें आगे कुछ भी बोल दे. नंबर ऑफ zigzag arrays 2, ये क्वेश्चन बोल रहे हो क्या? Okay. Next batch will start from November end or December start. There will be the camp before that in November. Okay. Somebody mentioned matrix explanation. Okay. Cool. चलो ये सब चीजें करते रहना. 8 pointers is generally hard, so I understand कि matrix explanation हो सकता है. Somebody is mentioning that in chat. Weekends mostly weekends, 8:30 to 10:30. There will be 4-hour classes every weekend. LR का link, I don't have that link. Check if L2 R. I don't think I have the link immediately. Replace A with -2, C with +2, and B with 1, and try to find somebody whose sum is this. A with -2. So how is, like, how will a bias be able to handle it? I am not able to. Whose sum is length by 3 using prefix sum formula. How do you get length in the prefix sum formula? I don't know that. LeetCode 1397. अरे यार ये मत करो यार. I don't think I'll be able to take an individual question. LeetCode 1177 LR palindrome. Oh, nice. If it is there, then that's very good. LeetCode 1177. Oh, nice. Yeah, this actually is on the same idea. Thanks. Nice. Gosh. Akash eventually learning from me and slowly having memory like me, huh? Keeping all the questions. Nice, very nice. Any good question for segment tree? Watch my YouTube live stream. Do the CSCS set at least, yeah. I mean, people come and ask me, Vivek, कौन सा set solve? क्या question solve? पहले जो है CSCS available है वो कर लो. How many nights you can awake still able to make CP logic full focus? No, I think one night only. I don't think I can go on for 2 night outs. I don't know. Okay. Chalo, cool. Great. Well, then I think 5 more minutes I'll be there on the stream. If you have any queries for me, I'm happy to answer. Fun questions. ज़्यादा नहीं करेंगे. Tough. Happy Diwali. Yes, happy Diwali, everyone who are on the stream. What do you recommend between Chennai and Kanpur regions? See, if you are a very strong team, if you are fairly strong team, then Kanpur. If you are not so strong, then Chennai. If you want to just increase your probability for regionals, then go for Chennai. If you want to increase your probability for higher Asia West finals, then go for Kanpur. Okay. And I think some of the reasons I explained in the stream that I took in the like the selection happens first from Chennai, then people who are taken from Chennai are removed, and then the people from Kanpur are selected. then they are removed and then people from Amritapuri are selected. So naturally you have more chance of Asia West finals if you're in Kanpur or Amritapuri. But from my stats, from my understanding, if someone's registration starts late, they have much lesser competition as well. I think a lot of team would have already filled Kanpur and Amritapuri. So you can go for Chennai. It also depends on your own college. If your senior teams like are already filling something, so you can go for the other one. भाई CS क्वेश्चन सॉल्व होता है. CS क्वेश्चन तो बहुत हार्ड है यार. कुछ क्वेश्चन शायद मेरे से भी ना. I agree to that. Was the duration of LLD code 1 month? 4 weekends, 4 classes, like 8 classes actually. 1 month. Okay. But beyond that, you will not need anything more in LLD, in my opinion. I'll give you perfect resources for everything, and it will be like must class for it. मेंटर्स का सिलेक्शन नहीं यार, मेंटर सिलेक्शन ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं है. कुछ लोग का फोरम पे हुआ है सिलेक्शन, अभी भी लोग मैसेज तो करते हैं. Figure out a way to message me properly. I'll try to add you. Okay. डैम हार्ड तो क्यों बता रहे हो? पहले जो पूछ रहा है सेगमेंटर के लिए क्वेश्चन वो तो बिगिनर ही होगा मेरे को लग रहा है. ओके cool chalo, this would be it. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Do you want me to take something else in the streams? Like, do you have any suggestions for me, or kya kar sakte streams? I think I started with that classes on like placement series, but itna logo ko, I don't know how many people enjoyed that. But I tried to show a little bit of diversity on type of questions that are being asked. Maybe I'll keep picking some in those. Right? Tried cloning AZ like online judge. Nice, very good. That's a good project. Can you qualify? Yes. कर सकते हो. उनका जो जिसमें वो नहीं जा रहे वो ले लो. सर विवेक एल्गोरिथम्स प्रीमियम कोर्स किया 1 ईयर में खत्म हो जाएगा, मैं एक्सेस नहीं कर पाऊंगा. अभी रहेगा स्टूडेंट हूँ, मेल किया बट वो आई थिंक फर्स्ट मंथ एक्सटेंशन तो फ्री है तुम लोग के लिए. आई थिंक देयर इज अ रीजन व्हाई देयर इज अ लिमिटेड ड्यूरेशन एक्सेस. तुमने अगर क्वेश्चन किया ही नहीं है तो फिर नहीं मिलेगा, बट अगर तुमने कर रखा है क्वेश्चन डिसेंट एनफ तो देन मैसेज मी, आई विल सी इट. Stuck between job, get version and easy premium. Can I get my premium extended? Premium extension, most popular demand. देखो यार, ideally you should have been able to do the questions. अगर थोड़े बहुत बचे तो I can help. I can try some month. But ideally जरूरत नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. अगर मैं ऐसा सोचूं कि तुम्हें 300 क्वेश्चन करने थे and you had 1 year, पर मंथ कितने क्वेश्चन करने हैं मुझे? And should have been doable अगर तुम कर रहे हो तो. मोस्टली लोगों को लास्ट में याद आता है कि भाई आप कर रहे हैं, कुछ तो कर रहे हैं, एक्सेस है, एक्सेस है. रिसोर्स कलेक्ट करके कुछ नहीं होगा, मैं इसलिए बोलता हूँ. एंड डेडलाइन रहता है तो लोग कंप्लीट करते हैं. हाउ मच क्वेश्चंस यू हैव सॉल्व्ड ऑन LeetCode? नॉट मच, आई फील लाइक 300 maybe 200 300, I don't know. Though I've solved in total 3000 4000 problems, so don't compare with just LeetCode. Okay, in total I would have solved 3000 4000 problems, but on LeetCode maybe 300 200 max to max. Yep. 6 months LLD course access, 6 months. Anyways, it will get updated soon. I'll post about it. It's not yet uploaded, but the page is up, and वो भी तो final नहीं था number. If you want to get it, you can get it now. चलो cool. That would be all from my side today. Is it hard भी है? Yes, वो तो है. हाँ तो दिन का 2 क्वेश्चन नहीं कर पा रहे हो फिर भी, तो फिर क्यों ज्वाइन किया फिर? मतलब वो तो पेज के पहले पेज पे लिखा हुआ है, AZ के लैंडिंग पेज पे, प्रीमियम इज नॉट फॉर फेंट हार्टेड. 12 बजे के बाद नहीं, आई थिंक 2 दिन में इंक्रीज होने वाला है. समथिंग सम मोर चेंजेस हैपनिंग ऑन द पेज. यार रिडीम कॉइन का हो तो गया है, डिस्पैच हो गई है, उसकी ट्रैकिंग लिंक्स आई है, बट वो साइट पे ऐड नहीं हो पा रही है अभी. तो हो रहा है, कुछ कुछ जा रहा है, पता नहीं. ट्रैकिंग लिंक अगर तुम्हें नहीं मिला है तो मेल करके पूछ सकते हो अपडेट. बाय दिस फ्राइडे वी आर बिल्डिंग अ सिस्टम बाय व्हिच यू कैन गेट अ ट्रैकिंग लिंक ऑफ योर goodies that you have ordered on the website. I think so that you can also extend and then you'll be able to attend it for the month. So it should be good enough, I feel. You don't need to get it separately. आफ्टर 250 मुश्किल है अकाउंट बनाना. 250 तक अगर कर लिया एंड देन इफ यू वांट कि विवेक थोड़ा सा 1 महीने कर दो तो आई कैन हेल्प. ओके अच्छा, ओके, ओके, चलो, cool. Thanks everyone for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I hope you guys learned something new, how to think about harder problems. I specifically take that, but I hope the audience who comes to this enjoys those kind of streams. Uh, इसे मतलब चाहिए. Okay, we'll see into it. Coupon code not working for upcoming cohort. Oh, then it has expired. Then I feel there was a discount running, but it has now expired, I feel. So message on the platform, or just fill up for that callback, talk to the team, and you can get whatever is the best coupon running. Okay. What to do, ML or Dev? My opinion, basic ML and more of Dev, because उसके जॉब चाहता है. ML की इतनी हायरिंग नहीं होती है जितना लोग देखते हैं. ठीक है. कॉलेजेस ने आज के टाइम पे स्पेशलाइजेशन इन ML वेमएल ये वो खोल दिया है. ठीक है. बट जो फोर्थ ईयर से निकल चुका है वही रियलिटी जानता है. उनसे बात करो, तुम्हें समझ में आ जाएगी कि सच्चाई कहाँ है दुनिया की, और उस हिसाब से पढ़ाई करना चालू कर दो. I would say, no matter a good student or bad student, talk to 10 people who have completed their fourth year, who are in their fourth year right now. ठीक है. तुम्हें दुनिया की रियलिटी, जो फोर्थ ईयर में है एंड जो जस्ट ग्रेजुएट है, तुम्हें दुनिया की रियलिटी समझ में आ जाएगी. 10 लोग से तुम बात करोगे अगर, तो उसके बिना तुम कोई भी प्रेप कुछ भी मत करो. पहले बात करो लोगों से. ठीक है. तो ये सब क्वेश्चन तुम पूछोगे नहीं मेरे को. And talk to your own college seniors, because that will give you even more reality of your own campus placement. That is also fairly important. I think very few people do this. कि भाई they talk to 10 people in their seniors. जाओ बात करो यार, मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूँ. It's about your career, it's about your life. You should take that step. कि एटलीस्ट इतना तो मैं मेहनत मारूं. पढ़ाई करने में क्या मेहनत मार रहे हो, पहले 10 लोग से बात कर लो. कितना लगेगा, 10 घंटे लगेंगे. एक एक घंटे का बात भी करोगे तो, बट इट्स वेरी हेल्पफुल. ओके. क्या क्या गलत गलत एडवाइस लेके लोग बैठे रहते हैं. डोंट गो बाई वीडियोज. ठीक है. यूट्यूब पे मार्केटिंग वगैरह ये सब मत देखो, है ना. हर कोई वीडियो बनाए कि ये अच्छा है वो अच्छा है. मैं भी तुम्हें जो बोल रहा हूँ वो भी मत मत सुनो. तो मैं बता रहा हूँ, आई हैव माई ओन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. Talk to 10 seniors from your own college, try to understand their perspective, try to, like, don't take it like an order or advice, take it like an observation, and then try to deduce your own thing. ठीक है. एटलीस्ट मेरे को तो यही बेटर लगता है. भैया पर इतना नहीं सोचना, क्या करे. ठीक है, हो जाएगा एक्सेस, मिल जाएगा, टेंशन मत लो. यू विल गेट द एक्सेस वेरी वेरी सून. कर दिया है तो अब नाउ टीम इज एलिजिबल, लाइक टीम इज ऑब्लाइज टू गेट यू द एक्सेस. डोंट वरी. सो टेंशन मत लो. ठीक है. वही, सब एआई एआई करने दो. जिसको एआई एआई करना है, लोगों को हाइप करना है, करने दो. जॉब नहीं लग रही है एआई से. ठीक है. यूजिंग एआई इन योर सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोडक्ट इज व्हाट प्रॉब्ली इज अ गुड मोट. तुम एनिटेन एजेंट बना लोगे तो उससे जॉब नहीं लग जाएगी. मैं बता रहा हूँ तुम्हें. सिर्फ एक एनिटेन एजेंट बनाने का जॉब इंडिया में लोग नहीं देते. और जिस चीज को सीखना उतना आसान है, वो उतना वैल्यूएबल भी नहीं होता है. ठीक है. ट्यूटोरियल देखो, समझो कि क्या. देखो, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि किसी का ट्यूटोरियल मत देखो. ठीक है. यू कैन लुक एट इट एंड यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि अच्छा ये होता है, ये एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है, ये काफी चीज है. यू शुड नो दैट. बट डोंट एक्सपेक्ट कि मैंने एनिटेन का वीडियो देख लिया तो मेरा अब जॉब लग जाएगा. ये मत एक्सपेक्टेशन रखो. ठीक है. जॉब में पहुंचना, अच्छी सैलरी तक पहुंचना इज अ डिफरेंट गेम. सीखना अपना डिफरेंट गेम है. ठीक है. यस, गलत रास्ता कुछ लोग का, मतलब इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ उनका भी एडवाइस तुम 100% मत लो, बट कुछ लोग बताएंगे तो मतलब तुम्हें रियलिटी समझ में आएगा। एडवाइस मैं लेने नहीं बोल रहा हूँ उनकी। ओके, चलो फिर, that would be all from my side. Thanks for joining in everyone. We'll see you in the next stream. Till then, be happy, keep coding, and enjoy the channel if you have more videos to watch. I'll take a leave. Bye bye everyone. Thanks for joining in today. I'll take another live stream sometime soon. We'll discuss more questions then. Okay, it's already 12 o'clock. Bye bye. Take care.